Dr. Banner? Excuse me. Sorry?
Hmm?
You were, telling us the reason we've been assigned to the program.
Right, well, let's see. Yes, General Fury. It seems the old guy is running out of patience, so he's beefing up my staff. The super soldier serum. The same one that elevated a frail enlisted man to the peak of human physical perfection. The original file, read it, memorize it. It's useless thanks to the inept record keepers of 1940. And so the secrets to that serum died with Captain America at the end of World War II.
Hi everyone and welcome to another ultimate episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the guy who has a brain tumor and decides, hey, I'm going to stop being a jerk and become a superhero, Carl Charles, and
the totally un-PC super soldier who calls his troops ladies. What? See my chong.
And we are going to talk about today Ultimates.
Yeah.
The thing that sort of the MCU borrowed for the Avengers films, bits of it,
Yeah.
and which just came out in like 2001, I believe. No, 2000. And
No, 2002.
2002.
Yeah. But I tell you what it is, right?
Yeah.
You're thinking because it took so long. It's 12 issues, and it took about 2 years or plus or something to finish all of it. So yeah, you're probably thinking, oh, it took 2 years and it finished that year. But you're kind of right. But
Yeah, you are right, yeah. Because Ultimate Spider-Man came out 2000.
yeah,
Ultimate X-Men came out 2001. And so
Yeah.
did Ultimate Fantastic Four. And this was like weirdly in between everything, which
yeah.
I will point out while we're going through this. This was written... Hold on.
No. You're going to say it's written, and I was going to ask you something else, but I'll ask it after.
Oh, okay. This is written by Frank Millar.
Mark Millar.
Mark Millar. It's all the same, sorry. Mark Millar. And art was done by Bryan Hitch.
Yeah. Which is really like I like the layout of it. It's like widescreen cinematic because all the panels are usually wide or it's splashed or double pages and stuff like that. It looks really good. It looks like
amazing. Yeah.
It looks
Still
filmed
holds up.
that it's really detailed and everything. But the overall story is what I can say is it's a good action adventure. But then after I finish reading, I'm like,
Why?
well, not that, because it's. I know why, because it's action oriented. But then all I can think of is I don't like none of these people. I don't like no one here.
Yep. That's literally one of my big complaints about it as well.
Like, okay, they did the mission, they succeeded, whatever. But like, all right, now can you just get away from me?
I'll say the only likable person really is Thor because you barely see him.
Well, no, because he avoids everyone else. That's why.
Yeah, I'm saying. So you're like, he's the only sort of decent person in this.
Yeah, like by unassociation, he becomes off better.
Yeah. Which is hilarious.
Yeah.
I know back in the day when this first came out, lots of people liked this.
Oh yeah, it's true. When I first read it, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then 22 years later.
A sign of the times or because it was like, it was just in your face all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was completely different. But when you look at it, you guys, it's too different now. It's just too cynical.
Yeah, pretty much.
The personalities, like, you look at these people and you're like, this Captain America in the Ultimate Universe could never lift
Yeah. It's, everyone just comes off like a dick.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, maybe it's because of the time when there was like new metal rock and stuff and everyone was starting to be edgy. This fit in right then. But now it's just like, wow, this is shock value, a lot of it.
It's overly edgy. It's trying too hard.
Yeah. And that's sort of Mark Millar's thing. But hey,
it's the emo kid that walks into his bedroom. Mum, don't talk to me. I hate you all.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, oh, okay, great. But the art's cool.
Yeah. Definitely that.
It's funny though, like, I reckon if I went back to read Ultimate Spider-Man, like from this period, I'll still like it.
Yes.
Ultimate X-Men, I reckon it'd be uphill a bit because remembering it now, I know there's a lot of bits in there. I'm like, that wouldn't be cool now.
Yeah. It's the Wolverine and 15-year-old Jean Grey, especially, right?
Yeah, all that sort of stuff, and the edginess for no reason. Also, another problem is I have is like there's too much pop culture references
for the time, yeah. As in only well, okay. Here's the funny thing: you read it and you're like, these could just be names of random whatevers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just because we note that period of time that this came out is like this is actually relevant.
Yeah. But it's just.
But you could read it like another, 30 years later, and it just is whatever names they just happen to have. That's what you think, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just tried a bit too much.
Mm.
But yeah, besides that, we'll go
do a little
it.
recap.
We'll do a little recap. So, issue 1 starts with in 1940 I'm terrible because no, it's 45. Sorry, with the American troops going to the North Atlantic, and they're all like, "Yeah, we're gonna try and win this war, because we got a secret weapon." And people are like, "Nah, it's just some dude in a suit. He's not going to do anything for us." The non-believers, as you say.
Yes.
Then they land. I think it's Normandy. I could be wrong.
No. Hold on. You forget a section. You go just before that where they're talking, and they're like, "Oh, that dude, the dude in the suit," and then everyone's jumping out of their parachutes, and they go, "Why that dude in the suit? Not the parachutes." Oh, the dude in the suit says, "The parachutes are for girls."
Yeah, and already from that bit, you're like, "Oh, this isn't going well already."
Yeah.
Yeah. So only manly men don't wear parachutes,
Well, either that or you just you
want to die.
And everyone else who doesn't go my way is what, a woman.
Pansy.
But then oh, okay, not even talking about the current times of when it came out. Just even if you pretend in 1945, women were doing stuff though. So
so it's a bit so they all land, and we're sort of following one person who is Bucky Barnes.
Boy photographer, right?
Yeah, boy photographer. And he's like, "Oh, we survived so far, but hey, what's Cap doing?" And then you see Captain America in a plane. And he decides to crash this plane into a building.
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh, okay, cool, I guess."
Well, yeah, because it's like the plan won't work, whatever plan you had, right?
Yeah.
This is a weird thing, because like, fair enough, it feels classic Captain America.
Yeah.
And he says, "Okay, so your plan you had wouldn't work, therefore I just hijacked it and did my own plan, right?"
Yeah.
But this guy comes out like, "I ain't listening to you, I'm listening to me."
Yeah. This is my world, you just live in it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but you were skinny and you got bullied and everything like that, so you should know that's not,
that's not how it works.
Yeah.
But sure, okay.
Yeah, now once you've got the power, all of a sudden you're like, I'm the bully now.
Yeah, exactly. So you're like, "Oh, this isn't very good on him." So so he crashes it into the building and starts fighting all the Nazis, as you do, And he says this infamous line, one of his many infamous lines for this series. "What are you waiting for, ladies? Christmas?" You're like, "Oh, God."
Yeah. Now, to be fair, maybe that was the army speak back then.
Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, like, okay, before women could join the army, whatever, you could say that stuff. Yeah. But at this time, women were doing stuff in the army, so.
Which is well documented as well, so
Yeah. So it's like that logic doesn't track.
No. So they get there and they see some like rocket and like, "Oh no, that must be the Nazi secret plan." So they try to destroy the rocket. So Captain America jumps on it and he detonates the rocket in the sky so it doesn't get to the place it's meant to go, which blasts him off into the sea where he gets frozen, just like... Which origin? Wait.
Well, okay, we're going to say classic Cap, but that's the thing, right? Because it could be the retcon original, whatever. We'll just say the most current relevant.
Most current one, where he gets frozen underwater.
Yeah.
And then we flash forward to like present day, which would be 2002. Yeah. We see a guy having a board meeting on Mount Everest, as you do, because it's the only place you can concentrate as well.
Yeah.
Whatever, I guess. And we find out it is Tony Stark. Because, in this universe, he's an eccentric billionaire in this incarnation. And he's just talking to his staff. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And that's issue 1. It's a very quick read because not much actually.
No,
happens.
yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, then we move on to issue 2, where.
By the way, I think most of these issues can be read kind of quickly as well.
Yeah,
except for I want to see the character development issues, because there's some issues where it kind of the action stalls and they do stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then you're reading that stuff and you're like, yeah, but you're not developing good characters. You're developing.
No, you're just making these people even worse.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, issue 2 again is like more of a setup issue because this is where we meet the other Ultimates throughout this issue. That's what it is really. So, we are in New York City, and
Bruce Banner and
sorry, I don't know what I blacked out there. Bruce Banner and
Nick Fury.
Are
Samuel Jackson looking Nick Fury.
Yeah,
by the
this
way.
is where they get the inspiration from.
Yeah.
Talking about a event with the Hulk and Spider-Man and how the Hulk basically teared apart half of Chelsea. Oh, cool.
By the way, do you remember you collected Ultimate Spider-Man during this time, right?
Yeah.
So do you remember offhand, was the Hulk acting like this Hulk, or was he acting like classic Hulk?
He was acting more like classic Hulk.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
But don't quote me on that because I'm pretty sure he was, because I think he even was green rather than the weird color he is in this.
Yeah. I got a headcanon theory that I'll get into a bit later on.
Oh yeah, sure. Because I've got lots of theories too.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're patching holes in this story as well.
There's so many holes in this story.
Okay.
So yeah, they're just talking, and little to Bruce Banner's knowledge, Fury's actually got snipers on him just in case something goes awry. And they're basically just talking about the Super Soldier program and how they want Banner to sort of crack it again, even though he sort of messed up the first time. Hence why he's the Hulk in this universe. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then we are introduced to Hank Pym and Janet Pym. We go to where his old office was, or the Super Soldier research facility, and even the people there are like, this guy Hank's weird. Why is he getting ants to help him move his stuff? Janet's like, nah, he's not weird. He's okay. And from this point, you kind of really get the indication that Hank's a dick.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. Okay. Yes and no. I think at this point it's like he's introduced to be like a normal kind of guy-ish.
Yeah.
Which kind of like has a sense of humor that's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm a bit of a joker. You know, I can be fun too. But then I don't know if you want to say you can see it's a bit fake.
Yeah. You can kind of tell that he noticed. This is me super looking at the way too much. That he kind of knows that Janet's too good for him.
Something like that. Yeah, you can tell there's something. Yeah.
And he's jealous of her attention from men and stuff like that. But she mentions Tony Stark, and he gets a bit by it. So,
well, yes, there's only insecurities. Like, he doesn't come off well, is why, like, already, you know. But as we know from Classic Universe, where no, but did you ever? Okay, when we get to that, I'll speak about that.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And then we're introduced to Tony Stark again, but this time in the Iron Man suit, which looks weird, but I liked it at the time. I don't mind it now.
Yeah. It's okay. So you know, Iron Man's classic suit is too streamlined for the universe at the time, like in the 60s or whatever, right, or 70s. You know, here is more as it would be if you were doing it in the 2000s. Yeah. Because it'd be a bit more chunkier and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of realistic for the time. You're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. Even though he looks like an alien, which makes it kind of cooler as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's flying around Manhattan, and he meets Fury. Fury's trying to talk him again into becoming part of the Ultimates, and Fury's like, and Tony's like, yeah, I guess, you know, I could do it, but it's gonna cost you money, buddy, and all that sort of
Oh
stuff.
yeah, and Tony obviously here coming off as a big time celebrity,
Yeah,
as in loves the like just overly exaggerated man with money.
yeah, basically, yeah. And to be fair, he kind of grows on me a bit later, but we'll see. Then we're back at the Triskelion. This is their... Oh, I never explained this. Yeah, in this universe, the shield base is called Triskelion. No one knows why.
Just because it is, right?
Yeah, it sounds cool. They even brought this into the main universe recently, which was weird. So then we see Bruce Banner talking to, I believe it's Janet, because Janet.
Yep.
About her relationship with Hank, and he's also talking about his relationship with Betty and how it's not really going nowhere and such.
This I don't know. He made okay. Banner is so pathetic here. That's what I'm trying to get across. But then that leads to other stuff later on. My point is to say how they broke up, but then Bruce doesn't think they're broken up, and then Janet's like, "No, when you look at the evidence, you are broken." I mean, he's like,
"Are you sure?"
Yeah, he's in denial and all that shit, and he's like, "You're like, oh man, dude, yeah."
It's so then they go and find Hank.
Betty, by the way, is the Ultimate's PR manager.
Yeah. I never understood that. Why?
Well, okay, because they're gonna do the marketing and stuff like that. Cause they want to make it like a big that I get, but when you say you don't understand.
But like, you know, in this universe, everyone had like subtle changes, but I don't know like why they gave Betty this sort of change.
Yeah.
It kind of like
and there's stuff later
character.
On. There's stuff later on as well that you're like, what?
Because like everyone knows Betty's meant to be like some smart like in the other incarnations of Betty Ross, she's like a smart scientist woman.
Yeah.
Not saying no offense to people who do marketing, I did marketing, but like I feel that's kind of a step down character wise.
Yeah. Well, it's not just that, right? Like she has intelligence.
Yeah.
But they removed it from her, and then they changed her character to the point where you're like, you could have just made her whole original character.
Yeah, exactly. No one would Batten Island. You could like introduce the real Betty Ross or another version of Betty Ross later down the line. Why do you sort of do it now?
Yeah. This character was just like a whole completely different. Like, could have been anyone.
Oh, so we are finding Hank, and he's trying out the new growth serum, and he uses it to become Giant Man, and everyone's like, "Oh, Hank, you're Giant Man now." Ooh.
Yeah.
You can see that Bruce is getting a bit jealous of this because you see a flash of the Hulk because you're like, "Oh, this is leading to something later on." And then we come to the end of the issue where Fury rings Banner and says, "Yeah, we found something you may find interesting, and it's the frozen body of Captain America." And then we move on to issue 3. I forgot to tell the names of each issue.
Yeah.
The first issue was Superhuman. The second I can't remember, and I'll check in a sec.
Was it Big Time?
Big Time. Yeah.
No, it was just called Big. Sorry, it's just called Big.
Big, yeah. And then the third issue is called The 21st Century Boy. Don't know what that means, but yeah. So we open up. In this issue, it's basically Hank Pym showing off his Giant Man skills, and Janet's sort of like feeding his ego, saying, "Oh, that's pretty cool, but you could be better." And then he has hints of resentment towards her again for telling him that you're not as great as Tony Stark. Oh, this comic's so bad.
Yeah.
And then we're back at the Triskelion where Nick Fury and Anthony Stark, Tony Stark, looking over an examination room where they are waking up the frozen Captain America. And he's first person he sees is Bruce Banner. He's like, hey Cap, it's year 2000, you just woken up. And he's like, oh, why are you all pointing guns at me? Why am I tied up? Where's the Nazis? Etc. Etc.
Yeah.
You know, questions you would ask if you went to sleep one day and you woke up. It's like 75 years later.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah. 57 in this case.
Yeah, 57. You know, 70 now, isn't it? Yeah.
No, you 75 is the MCU version.
Yeah, that's always stuck in my head.
Yeah.
And no one's sort of like answering his questions, so he gets a bit like angry. Basically does the bit he does from the end of Captain America First Avenger, where he just breaks out of the Triskelion and is like enraged.
To be fair, I like okay, in this universe, they introduce each other and everyone, and then they say General Nick Fury, and that's when I think something triggers, because it's like he says the highest ranking black man when he was in the army was so and so, right?
Yeah.
Which is not factually correct, but we're going to allow for the fact that in this universe it might be.
Yeah.
We're also probably going to then assume that women didn't join the army in this universe until later. Then
later on, because science. So he escapes. Well, he tries to escape, and then Hank Pym decides to grow and smashes him into a van.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, dude, you just killed Captain America, you idiot. He goes, no, relax. He's still wiggling. It's like, why did you take that chance? You know, it's a bit stupid.
But it does make sense later on why he takes that chance, because he's you know, self-esteem and ego issues.
Yeah, pretty much. He wants to show off.
Yeah.
And then we are then shown Captain America go into Bucky's house with Nick Fury. And there's a weird reference here, which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah.
That Nick Fury makes a reference to Robert Downey Jr. I was like,
yeah. Just knows that they
later,
smashed more times, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then like, 6 years later, he's going to become Iron Man. Oh. They wish they didn't write that in this, but you know, whatever. And yeah, so he's just telling him, basically, everyone you basically know is kind of dead. Bucky's got cancer. Yeah, let's go and see him. So.
Oh, no. And also, he's married to your girlfriend who thought you was dead at the time.
Yeah.
And now they got grandkids. And Cap's like,
oh, cool.
Anything else you want to destroy my life with?
So yeah, they go and have a nice little meeting. Bucky wants Cap to see his wife / Steve's ex-girlfriend, but she kind of doesn't want to do it because it's been like.
Well, you know, this is what I took from it. I know that you could be reading it like, yes, there's the way that way as well, but it's just like, because she's holding a photo of her and Steve way back when they're, I want to say they're prime youth or whatever.
Yeah.
And now she's aged 60 years since, roughly.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to see the perfect version of him with the, again, you know, like, beside the really old version of her, you know?
Yeah, it makes sense.
I don't want to say it's an ego thing, but I don't think she wanted him to see her that way.
Yeah. Especially this version of him. Cause
she'd just rather be how he last saw her.
Yeah, which makes sense. Like, oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
And then we go to a cemetery where Nick Fury basically like, oh, all your family are dead.
Yeah.
Like, your mum's dead, your dad's dead, your brother died. But, you know, you have a niece. We can go see her if you want. He's like, what's the point? She has no idea who I am, so why see her? I'm basically alone now, and America's the only thing I need. He doesn't say that. I'm just putting that.
No, but that's just the implication. Well, okay, you're exaggerating, but at the same time, when we get to later on, it's actually not an exaggeration.
No, because after he says all this, he looks at the American flag. I'm like, that's so... Oh, gosh. Yay. So, and then flash forward a couple of hours, I'm guessing. For some reason, Nick Fury and Betty Ross are walking down a red carpet. Because, you know, you want the leader of the most secretive military in the world to be just famous. Whatever, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Oh, okay, but here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Why I got it was they are... Yes, it's S.H.I.E.L.D., but they are also pretending to be like a militarized unit when they put the Ultimates together. So this is their grand unveiling of their super team to deter whatever.
Yeah, I get that, but it's like you just put more of a target on yourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That logic, that's like, yeah, okay. So even if you weren't a super spy organization that you're pretending you're not,
Yeah.
you're still associated with the Ultimates now, and people will attack you for it.
Yeah. Which in volume 2, you see what happens from all this.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, they're just talking, trying to make everything public. Like, yeah, TV shows, and we're gonna have marketing, better PA relationships and stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, sure. This is so stupid.
Yeah.
It doesn't age well, sorry, to me.
Yeah.
So they're just all talking, and they decide to talk to the president again. This dates the comics so much. George Bush.
Yeah.
Literally, it's George Bush drawn as him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh wow, just need to say the name, and if you've cemented it. And he gets I want to say a boner that you see Captain America in the Captain America costume, and it ends there. Like, oh, okay. Also, they talk about a thunder god who they're trying to get on their team, but hasn't been returning their phone calls, which I thought was.
So far, their team is Iron Man and Captain America.
Yeah.
And nothing else, and Giant Man.
Yeah.
And they're doing a grand unveiling of 3 members.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. I guess.
Well, they do grand unveiling of they have Captain America, and then they're like, okay, our team's the Ultimates. All right, it's only a 3-person team. Fair enough. It's not exactly the DC Trinity, but you know.
No, but all right, sure. Because at this point, Wasp isn't part of them either, because she's kind of like their PR person as well, isn't it?
She's something to do with it. I think she's a friend of Betty Ross, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know what they're trying to say that she's part of as the official published part of the team.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah.
And then we're on to issue 4, which is called Thunder.
Yeah.
It's a bit obvious what that means. The first image, say the second image, outdates this comic as well, because you see Iron Man in space talking to Larry King.
Yeah.
With Shannon Elizabeth, who hasn't been that famous since American Pie.
Wait. Did they call her? Okay, because her badge has Elizabeth Shannon on it, right?
Yeah.
But we all know who it's meant to be.
Yeah, they even say her name is. They say Elizabeth. It's Sharon Elizabeth. You're like.
Yeah. But because her badge, this and my what it is I guess in the name that you put the surname first, like some of the badges, because I think Stark's one has got his name Stark Tony first, so you need to check surname first.
It's just, okay, sure, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they may be like, okay, well, it's not Shannon Elizabeth, it's Elizabeth Shannon, so you can't sue us. But you're going to use names all over the place, I guess.
Yeah. So I think no one cared at this point. No one's really suing people in this time period until now.
And it's not as if they slayed them or anything like that.
No.
They're just
They probably got their permission as well.
Or using them to market the issue.
Probably got their permission. And then while this is all going on, the TV interview with Larry King and Tony Stark while he's in space, we see Bruce Banner just stooling and feeling inadequate about it. You're like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
And then we flash back to New York, where the Wasp, aka Janet Pym, is taking Steve out shopping so he can sort of
modernize himself.
Yeah, to like what's going on in modern fashion and stuff. And he's like, I don't get this at all.
Yeah.
I miss the days of when I was wearing slacks and blah blah blah.
Yeah, when clothes were clothes, not like you had to now newfangled. You put a pillow against your head and walk down the street or some craziness like that.
Yeah,
wearing the garbage dumpster bags and stuff.
Yeah,
what fashion?
Oh, man out of time, cool.
Yeah,
and then he go back to his apartment, and Jan's like, "You need to live in a better place." He's like, "Nah, I'll be fine. This building's nice." So when you see the apartment building, it's like the most terrible looking place ever. Graffiti everywhere, broken stairs, and he kind of makes a joke about. No, she makes a joke about being broken into, and they walk up the stairs, and his room has been broken into. And you're like, "Oh,
yeah."
And then we're back to Triskelion, and Bruce is talking to Betty, and he's like, "Hey, we're still together, right?" And she's like, we're here to talk about business, Bruce. You know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Chinese and the Arabs
He's
are
like,
behind everything.
you know what? It's sort of, you get the vibe of, can we rekindle a flame? And she's like, don't talk to me unless it's,
Business related. If
Yeah.
not,
yeah, I ain't got time for you.
it's so sad to see this as well.
Yeah. But then it
leads
goes where,
to-
yeah, but the thing is also, it hits you over the head with a hammer.
Yeah.
There's no subtlety about it.
Nope. No. And then we see sorry, I keep calling him Ant-Man because he's known as Ant-Man. Giant Man showing off about how he's so big and stuff. And here we get a mention of Hawkeye as well.
Yep.
You're like, oh, okay, Hawkeye's meant to be scheduled. And I'm pretty sure they retcon him halfway through this, but we'll get into it when we meet him. Then Bruce tries one more time to try and, get sympathy from Betty. She's like, dude, cut it. We're not here about you. Let's go.
Yeah.
Left crying.
Well, the thing is, it's not even, they're not here about you. We're not here about you sort of thing. It's just like, he's just trying to reach out.
Yeah.
And she don't want none at all.
He just doesn't get the hints. It's like, that's what makes it even worse.
No, but it's not that. It's just like, you can just try and reconcile the web. We don't know what he's attempting, first of all, because he gets cut off way before he does anything, right? But it's just like, if he just needs to say, all right, are we on Splitsville or whatever, you can let him say that. But you shouldn't really let him say that.
No, it just goes a long way around everything.
Yeah.
And then we're flown over to Norway, where Fury's trying to talk Thor into joining him, but at this moment of time, Thor's like a pacifist and an eco warrior.
Yeah.
So he's trying to save the world from global warming and everything.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks he's like a nutcase.
Yeah.
Who somehow has got powers rather than being an actual Norse god.
Yeah.
And Fury's like, oh, we can do this to you. He's like, well, you can't really do this to me because I control thunder. I'm not a mutant or a machine.
I'm a god and I'm outside your jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you're like, ooh.
In fact, you're invading someone else's country to tell me to do whatever. So,
yeah, it's pretty cool how he just like puts Fury in his place. And Fury's like, okay, let's go. Obviously, we wasted our time.
Yeah, so he tries to have a little dig, on the way out. I think it's just kind of reverse psychology. It's like saying, this guy is just a jabroni.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need him. And then he was expecting Thor to say, well, I'm not. I am somebody. I'm a thunder god. But Thor's like, I'm just going to drink my beer and say, what, Fury, you do what you want.
Yeah, I don't need you.
Yeah, I'll do what I want. We'll see how it goes. And he's all being cheerful as he's saying this as well. And you're like, Fury's probably stewing.
Yeah, of course, because it's Fury.
Yeah.
And then weeks pass, and we're in the recreation room, and this is this weird bit where they start casting themselves if they was in movies.
Yeah.
Doesn't age very well.
Yeah.
Because Fury says, "Oh, Cap, I'll get Brad Pitt to play you." And I'm like, okay, what?
Yeah.
Sure. Then obviously this is where the whole Nick Fury comes from. Sorry, Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson Fury thing comes from. Because it's mentioned here, and then it later becomes real.
I will say as well, when he casts the Wasp as Lucy Liu, and I was like, but I don't know how Asian she's actually drawn. Is she meant to be half or full? Because she don't look full Asian in this.
Yeah. Then I'm pretty sure later on they forget she's Asian, if I'm honest.
Yes, exactly, because she gets drawn with brown hair.
Yeah.
And it somehow loses whatever Asian features she had. If they didn't tell me that she's Asian, I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have thought that she was.
Nah, until they said it, I was like, oh, because I kind of forgot until this debacle. So yeah, then they say that, and then someone throws Johnny Depp into this as well.
To be Tony Stark, right?
Yeah, like,
which actually I don't think would have been bad casting. He could have pulled it off, but in a different way.
Know.
Well, man's a very flexible actor.
He's a very flexible actor, but then he just ends up doing the same thing all the time. But
okay,
right,
fair enough. Fair enough.
I did like the Matthew McConaughey to play Hank Pym until what happens later.
Yeah.
Because I like Matthew McConaughey, but yeah. So yeah, then they kind of make a joke about Bruce Banner being played by Steve Buscemi, and he's like, and
No,
runs
he
off.
didn't even get that. They didn't even get to that point because they're mocking him,
Yeah,
and then he's here, and then Banner hears it,
yeah,
and he runs off before Hank was going to say, he was going to be played by Steve Buscemi, which I don't think would have been bad casting actually. I mean, like with the way he said it, he didn't even get to say it. If Banner heard it, it probably would have been like, that's kind of fair actually. But
yeah,
they were mocking Fury and Wasp were mocking it like previously, so yeah, he just probably assumed Hank was just going to take another dig.
yeah. And then we flash forward to we go over to Manhattan, which isn't that far.
Yeah.
And Bruce decides to bring Betty, and is like, "Oh, it's good to hear from you. I need something important to talk to you." He calls her Honey, and she's like, "Oh, hold on, dude.
Yeah.
I'm here talking about the Iron Man thing to Freddie Prinze Jr. I don't know why."
Yeah.
And Bruce is like, no, listen, I think I've cracked the serum. All we need to do this. And you keep coming off like, you know what? We can't do this right now. Can I talk to you about it later?
Yeah.
And then Bruce is overcome with something. He just goes on the floor and starts shaking.
No, he's like this. He's like this. Wait, did he? He was like, no, I have an idea. The idea. Here's what it is. This is how we get the team together. This is how we get Thor on the team and everyone to work as a group. Right.
Yeah.
But Betty, that's not it. That's not it, really, Betty. I took the Hulk serum.
Yeah.
So we can make it look like if they join together and beat up the Hulk, they're a team. But really, Betty, I'm totally insecure and I need to be big again. And then, I think that's when the Hulk serum kicks in.
Yeah, when he's in, like, because the ambulance picks him up and they try to like resuscitate him, and then they defib him, and then he wakes up, says Betty, and then he starts hulking out.
Yeah.
And he says, "I want Freddie Prinze Jr."
Yeah. But okay, here's my right. Let me just wrap something around here and say he combined the super soldier serum that they took from the blood of Captain America into the Hulk serum that he injected in himself. So that's why he tweaks to a different color Hulk. Stronger, angrier, hungrier, and hornier than before is how they put it. Yeah.
So then the Hulk goes on a rampage, and then the Ultimates all suit up to go and fight the Hulk.
Yeah. Now, kind of is the good idea. I get it. Make a threat for the team to combat, whatever, yeah?
Yeah.
But the amount of carnage that you caused in the middle of this before the team gets together.
Yeah.
Like, the team have to get ready, right? Prep the team beforehand or something like that. Because it just causes mass destruction.
Yep.
Like, by himself. I mean, by the time they get buildings are smoking, craters and stuff like that. People being eaten.
Yeah, he's like destroyed half of Manhattan in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because then we move on to issue 2. Hulk does Manhattan.
Issue
5, sorry. Not issue 2, issue 5. Yeah. This issue basically just straight up destruction.
Yeah, well, look, it's a fun issue, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just a big fight. All the Ultimates fighting the Hulk. The problem, of course, is the Hulk character is completely off key.
Yeah. Way off key.
Yeah. He just makes everything kind of a bit cringe. The way he does stuff.
Mm-hmm. And so it starts with a helicopter, like, a helicarrier carrying Giant Man.
Yeah.
I just thought, couldn't he just turn to Giant Man when he gets there? Rather than... I get for dramatic purposes that it's awesome, but it's kind of stupid. But anyway, so they're flying there, and they're all kind of like... Tony Stark's like, oh, I'm kind of scared to do this.
Yeah.
And Captain America's like, yeah, we'll be fine, we're the Ultimates. Doesn't actually say that, but it's kind of basically what he says. Yeah. And then the Hulk's going through Manhattan trying to find Betty, destroying at the same time.
So he could try and kill Freddie Prinze Jr. in the process, right?
And he's like, get away from Freddie Prinze Jr., Betty. You're supposed to be Banner's girlfriend.
Yeah. No one touches Banner's girlfriend. Hulk is man enough for you.
What? Yeah, it's so weird.
Hulk will eat Freddie Prinze Jr. I was like, all right, that's kind of yeah, all right.
Sure. And then so Giant Man's the first one to find the Hulk, and he says that Hulk is giving science a bad name. You're like, so are you, dude? Well, anyway.
Yeah.
So he tries to fight the Hulk like an idiot, and the Hulk literally just kicks the crap out of him. Like,
So he tries to do the hand crush he did to Captain America, except
Yeah.
I think Hulk breaks his fingers and then jumps on his face to try and tear it apart.
Yeah. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And he says this line, which is funny. That's why Hulk's gonna tear off your head and use your skull as a toilet bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Questionable.
Yeah. So Iron Man zooms in and snatches Hulk away from Giant Man's face just in time. But here's the odd thing I was thinking, like, so if you're jet setting across, right? This guy's already got grip on something. When you grab the guy who has grip, when you pull his grip as well.
Yeah.
And
especially in his picture, like he's holding on to like Hawkman, Giant Man's teeth.
Yeah.
So those teeth would have went with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or his whole upper jaw, but alright,
Yeah.
sure.
Unless of course Iron Man smashed Hulk in the side, you know, to try and when you hit a spear, you know your body's just gonna kind of. But I think he was just trying to get him off him. He wasn't calculating how to do that.
No. So then Iron Man flies Hulk into Grand Central Station.
Yeah.
And he starts trying to hold off the Hulk for as long as he can.
Yeah.
While emergency teams are going to see Giant Man.
Yeah.
During his time of the fight between Hulk and Iron Man, Tony Stark is pooping his pants, as he says later on.
Yeah.
And he uses his last bit of like power for the suit to do some supersonic wave to sort of disorientate the Hulk.
Yeah.
You know, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then the Hulk, I don't know if he jumps, but how it looks weird that he flies out of the building like someone's knocked him out of the building.
I think what it is, because we don't see it.
Yeah.
When he uses the last bit of power, like because Tony's saying to Fury, "Shall I enter more reserved?" And Fury's like, "Yeah, we'll don't worry about that. Don't worry about defending yourself. Just knock him out of the building, and we'll take care of the rest."
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not really clear.
Yeah. Because he doesn't say knock him out of the building. He just says empty your reserves.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
But I took it to be like, okay, Tony just put everything in the final blast to knock send Hulk out away from him.
Yeah, they should have illustrated that well because it's a bit weird. So then he goes flying across Manhattan again and lands on a bus, and then this bit kind of wound me up the wrong way. This particular scene.
Oh yeah.
That to get his attention, Janet flashes him.
Yeah. Only her chest though.
Yeah.
Not like full-fledged flash, right?
But why?
But yes. And they even point it out. They say, "Look, woman, look how many you got science degrees and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
And you think the best way to get his attention is to do that. And to be logical, he's horny Hulk, so
yeah, but
I suppose. But there are other ways.
She's got them stingers and stuff. She could just shot him with the stingers. It
Well,
would annoy
she
him.
did say, I got my pathetic stingers, which ain't gonna do jack to him.
Yeah, but it would annoyed him, and he would have chased her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's
Yeah.
And then I think, Tony kind of makes a joke about
Hulk's face when he's following her is hilarious.
Yeah, again, this made me feel.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've heard some. Yes, and then I was like, but but the Hulk being drawn that way is so absurd. I kind of like, this is a joke.
Yeah, it's just.
He's like, woo, and then just keep
Yeah. So then the Hulk chases her.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does, and then Captain America drops in on the tank on the Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so stupid. And he's like, "Relax, soldier. Everything's going according to plan." And then the Hulk just rips through the tank.
Yeah.
And then they just start fighting for ages.
Well, hold on. I think Captain America hits him with logical blows, right? Like with the shield, kicks him in the nuts, like and stuff like that, and he puts him down. And you're like, but remember, this Captain America is a proper super soldier, not like classic Captain America.
Yeah.
Who's peak human.
Yeah.
So, and we don't know what the varying degrees of power this Hulk has, because Grey Hulk in classic continuity is usually weaker than Green Hulk.
Yeah.
But logically speaking, maybe he could have just no-sold every single hit.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. So then, Cap's about to hit to inject him with a syringe to nullify Hulk's power, but Hulk's like no, breaks his arm, and then starts fighting Cap again, just beating the crap out of him this time.
Yeah.
And Hulk is shouting out weird things like Hulk's gonna smash your head open and suck out your yolk of your ugly piece of crap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. And then Thor comes with a lightning bolt, and like, oh, it's Thor, yay! So he gets a couple of good shots on Hulk, and then Hulk's like, nah, dog, and then punches him.
He's like, the more you smash that Hulk, the more.
Oh, this
does he? Is he like enjoy the pain? I don't know what the logic is. Like, if I hit him more, he's like, yeah, boy.
It's like, no, wait. So Thor goes, your jaw is broken, your ribs are cracked, and one of your lungs has been punctured, Banner. Have you had enough of the taste of manure yet? And he's like, nah. Literally said, nah, Thor. Thor's hammers just makes Hulk horny for Betty again, hippie. I'm like, oh, this is
exactly. You're like, what?
None of this age well.
Yeah.
So then, and then for some reason, the next panel, Iron Man's back there. Right? Wait, how's Iron Man there?
I think they like all this other stuff was going on. The crew came down to help him recharge.
Oh no, but no, he's in the street with lying next to. Oh no, yeah. So somehow Iron Man comes flying back. He gets punched.
Yeah.
And then Hulk goes back for Captain America, and he's like, "Where's Betty?" And goes, "Betty's in the sky, you fool." So then he's like, "Oh no!" So Hulk's climbed the building, trying to chase the helicopter that Betty and Freddie Prinze Jr. are in.
Yeah.
And
at this point, Freddie Prinze Jr. is he in there or did he just run off?
Yeah, he ran off. Sorry, no, he's in there.
All right, he ran up to the helicopter. That's probably what it was.
And then Hulk's like, "Do not leave leave Banner alone again." So he gets to the helicopter and he's like, "Freddie Prinze Jr. cannot love you like Banner does, Betty."
Yeah, and let me point out as well during all this, someone in Cap's ear, probably Nick Fury, is saying, "Cap, why are you sending Hulk over there?
Yeah.
To the danger." Like to the people that are endangered by him. That makes no sense. And Cap's like, "I got a plan. Don't worry."
Yeah, and then while this was going on, Janet's actually borrowed. Borrowed. That's the word. Into Hulk's ear and basically shoots the crap out of his brain.
Yeah. And Cap's like, all according to plan. See, we destroyed we knock out the neurons in his brain and whatnot. And if we can't hurt him from the outside, we'll hurt him from the inside.
Yeah. And then the Hulk falls from the helicopter into the harbor, destroying most of the harbor as well.
Yeah.
And then I think a couple of minutes or hours have passed because it's like broad daylight again.
Yeah. Or he just basically transformed back into Banner.
Yeah.
After getting brain frazzled.
And he's like, "Oh, I helped. See, the only thing I could do was to do with destruction and bring you team together. See, I've helped you lot." And Cap's like, "Yeah, sure, you did. You helped us. Great. And
let me help you with a kick in the face."
And he kicks the crap out of his face and it says, "You're going to prison, dude." I'm like, wow, insanity. Okay. Yeah. And that's issue 5. And then we move on to issue 6, the most brightest issue of the series.
I would not put it that way because the title for this issue is Giant Man versus the Wasp. So we know where this is heading.
Yeah, and it literally does head that way.
Yeah.
It's not like a legal battle, it's something completely different. So yeah. So this is set literally not long after the Hulk destroyed everything.
Yeah.
And we see all these paramedics and stuff tending to people and dead bodies. And Nick Fury and Betty are walking through Triskelion, go through a little elevator, and Betty's like, small part of me feels responsible for this. And Fury's like, well, you weren't the one pushing a building. And she's like, no, but I wasn't exactly nice to Bruce. I could see why he kind of snapped.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, do you, like, okay, reading it, I'm like, yeah, Betty, you are actually partially responsible for it. Not like, obviously, Bruce is in securities as well, but you didn't give the man the time of day or anything like that. Not to put blame on it, but it's like, there is blame to go around.
yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I was kind of a little bit flattered by it. And like, oh, that's a red flag right there.
Yeah, that's also why when I say there's probably blame to go around is because she seems to be like needing attention.
Yeah.
And then when she gets the attention, she doesn't want it.
And like, Fury comes off like a dick in this film. Goes, well, our biggest question here is how to spin this and make the PR people make this look like a good thing. And then he uses the word retard. You're like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Again, things you can't say in 2022. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
oh. So yeah, and then we see the aftermath of everything, and Steve, Captain America, is talking to the press, like, you know, my ribs are cracked and everything, but I've got 2 arms at the end of the day, so I'm still going. And
Does he essentially say any man with 2 hands has a fighting chance?
Yep, basically. You know, oh god. And then we see Tony Stark's also talking to him, saying, yeah, he was scared of the Hulk, but, you know, I survived and I'm great, you know, had a bit of the Dutch courage, and, you know, we're all great here.
Because everything here in the Ultimates is an exaggeration of certain traits they have, but also a de-exaggeration of other traits they have, the more likable traits as well.
Yeah. You're like, oh god. And then Thor's just being happy. So, you know, I'm glad I helped the super commandos and stuff, you know.
Yeah, whatever they're called.
Yeah. And then Janet's on TV talking about how Hank's alright and, you know, just a bit of his ego's bruised, but he'll be great. Which comes into play later.
Yeah.
And then, so back at the Triskelion, we see Fury talking to Janet on the phone, trying to arrange some more PR things, you know, and to make them look better. And it's really cringy. And then we're jetted off to Tony's luxury apartment where he's having a little meal dinner thing with Captain America and Thor, because he's trying to build like a rapport between them.
Yeah.
And it's very nice.
We forgot to mention Super Catty
Jarvis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I like, by the way. Which I like as a change from how because if they had him be very similar to Alfred in Batman or whatever, but I don't like how catty he is. I don't mind that he's like a bit of a what's the word they use it for it?
Well, I wouldn't say flamboyant, but it's not flamboyant.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I like that. I was like, oh, he's sassy. I like this.
Yeah. It's a nice tweak, but then he just comes up a bit too much.
Yeah.
I mean, they just need to temper it, but it just takes to the point where it's like it's unlikable.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. They dialed up to like 15. You're like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah, because he says some like really snarky things. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And apparently, Jan and Hank are meant to be there, but Hank doesn't want to go because he feels like an embarrassment because of the interview that Jan gave, and she's like, dude, it's a little thing, it's okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, you don't look, well, you're getting all glammed up for Steve Rogers and Tony Stark. He's like, come, it'd be fun, you know, meet the team. Yeah, come. He's like, no. She's like, but we get to know the team better. He's like, no, I can't go because that interview you did this morning, I'm a laughingstock and they all look down on me and you're dressing up for them because you want to flirt with them. And she's like, dude, just chill.
Yeah.
And then he starts getting really offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starts calling her
He says
a liberal lady with her physical self. It's the best way I can put it.
see you, Asian, 5'3", yeah, with your biological stuff, and you're a mutant idiot. You're like, oh wow.
What? And she's like, well, you know what? How can you be saying you're a giant man when you use my mutant DNA to you? So you're not even as clever as you seem. And then it goes.
It goes from like 1 to 100 in like seconds.
Yeah. But then he's like, you've always been like this ever since the first time we encountered and had these problems. Why do you always do this when you know you get beat up at the end of it? It's like, what?
Like, oh, this isn't the first time.
This is not even the first time. This is multiple times.
Yeah.
Both of you are just as bad as, each other.
Yeah. And then kind of flashback for a moment to Tony, Steve, and Thor eating, talking about how smart Tony is and how Thor's a god, and Cap's like, oh, okay. I'm great that you're on our team now. Hey, you're a free soldier. We don't have to pay you. Yeah. Then we flash back to more comfortable stuff where Janet and Hank are going at it proper. Like, she's biting him. He's like, you broke my skin, you moron. And he like slaps her again, grabs her by her hair. Yeah. And then she obviously uses her powers to get out of danger. And he's like, hey, come on. No powers. You're trying to... I
think he said something along the lines of, we agreed no powers? Or something like that. It's just like, okay, so you usually have these fights, right? And you just decided, okay, we're not going to involve superpowers in this fight because these fights that we have, because if we got to that point, right, that we have to say, okay, hold on a second, yeah? We fight so frequently, but we don't use powers, so it's unfair, yeah? There is clearly something...
And then she shrinks down and starts shooting him. Then he grabs bug spray.
Yeah.
And starts burning the crap out of her. So she runs under the table. And because he can't get her, he uses his Ant-Man helmet to call ants to stop biting her up.
Yeah.
And you're like... And then the picture of him watching her looks so creepy. You're like, oh,
yeah. She's like, Hank, stop. It's enough. It's done. It's dusted.
Yeah.
There's no need to fight anymore.
And he's like, no, you shouldn't have made me look small, Janet. You shouldn't have made me look small. It's like, oh, your insecurities coming into play.
Yeah. Now, did you ever see the original, like the classic, I want to say the classic version or the unclassic version, but the 616 version, right?
Yeah.
Of this, of where this all spawned from?
No, I've heard about it.
Right, so it's actually not, it's over exaggerated on the 616 one. People, like, when you tell the story and it just gets worse and worse each time.
Yeah.
Basically, the writer was like, all right, so Hank's frustrated. He's trying to figure out something. What comes to him, and out of frustration, he just pushes the, to the side, right? Or something like that, right? Knocks her back, yeah? Right? But I assume knocking back, just push her back or, push her, accidentally push her to the floor or whatever, right?
Yeah.
No, right? Because the artist, the way they do the Marvel method of drawing, is to exaggerate everything for the actions, as you would do if you're wrestling, yeah? So when he knocks her back, basically he swings a backhand slap at her.
Okay.
Right? And that's not what the intention was, but that's when it was drawn, right? And from that one instant, right, it spawned that Hank was a domestic abuser.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember that time you beat up Janet? It was like, well, hold on a second. At least in the 616 universe, he didn't actually just go around nitty-willy beating her up.
Yeah, unlike in this one.
Yeah.
And then there's like a nice little moment. Again, Tony and Thor and Steve just talking about the past and how Tony used his money to buy some helmet that Captain America wore, and he gave it to him. Captain America's like, oh, thanks, that's cool. Yeah. We could be friends. And they all do a cheers. And then we see Hank sitting in his mess, basically. He's like, oh my God, Janet, what have I done? Yeah.
Or if you really want to put it, tweak it to the way that it probably he wants to justify it. Janet, what have you made me done?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. Like, oh, this is awkward. And that's the end of issue 6.
Yeah. Yeah. And wait, like we were saying before, these character building bits just make you hate the characters more.
Yep. You just realize they're all terrible people.
Yeah.
This time. So we had to cut this episode short because it ran over and we didn't know how long it's actually going to be. So we've ended at the end of issue 6. On the next episode, we move on to issue 7 and on of this train wreck from the edgy 2000s where new metal was a thing and everyone was trying to be edgy. But I hope you all enjoy and you listen to the next one. Again, let us know what you thought of this comic if you read it at the time, or your thoughts on the Ultimate Universe in general, because that's a bit of a mixed bag. But remember to get in touch with us through our social medias, our Instagram, our Twitter, YouTube channel, email as well. And I'll catch you guys next time. So I have been the Freddie Prinze Jr. of this podcast, Kyle Charles, and CY, who's not here because this has been recorded afterwards, if you can tell. But anyways, catch you guys next time, and thank you all for taking a trip around the Ultimate Multiverse with us. See a little thing I did there. Anyway, bye guys.
How's the body? Any damage?
None that I could see. I mean, he looks like he could just get up off the table.
Better be careful, the tissue could be fragile.
Easy, soldier. This is not what you think.